I know he wore it already, so I'm bummed.
Who actually got it?
Well, I had it first.
Cam disputes that.
No, I don't do good Norv.
So y'all have different shirt plugs then.
Yeah.
Yours is clearly more punctual.
Make those shirts. Like, who is your shirt guy?
There's a group of elves that do it. It's a secret. I'm serious. I've been sworn to secrecy. They've asked me not to talk about it, so it's okay.
Are they in the building?
Huh?
Are they in the building?
I will say this much: they're in the vicinity.
It's Tahoe, isn't it?
You got a little printer.
Yeah, obviously, you won't know Ryan Khalil's status till tomorrow, but are you optimistic? And also, Tyler, you never want anyone to be hurt at any time, but Tyler having so much prior experience with Cam, I'm sure is beneficial.
Very much so, and you know, feel pretty comfortable. I mean, we'll again know a little bit more. I mean, he did some stuff with the trainers and all that good stuff, and you know, so far he's feeling pretty good about it. But we'll see how he is first thing tomorrow and have a better idea. But you know, again, I'm optimistic.
Obviously, Ryan's one of those guys who's a plug and play.
Yes, you know, and it goes back to a couple of questions we've had. I think last year talking about guys that don't need to practice as much. He most certainly is one of those kind of guys, especially on a short week.
Right, given the nature of the short week, bad for the bodies because the recovery time isn't the same, but the way you guys have been rolling, is it, I guess, best case scenario that you are playing as well, as you guys are playing as well as you are going into a short week?
I think so. I think, you know, there's a little bit of confidence in terms of that. And so to almost come out and practice normally would become a little redundant in terms of having guys put pads on and bump into each other, stuff like that. So what we've tried to do is we've tried to really attack the mental aspect of practice today and making sure that the pictures we were getting from the show team was exactly what we're looking for. You know, that the blocking patterns and schemes like that are what we really needed to see. And so we really focused in on making sure we're getting the mental side of the game more so than anything else.
Ron, Cam was saying how he doesn't necessarily think of himself as being similar to Ben Roethlisberger, but that he had watched a lot of film on him and really respected his game. Do you see any similarities between the two of their playing styles?
Not necessarily, but because you know, Cam's a little faster. They both, you know, they both stand tall in the pocket. They both are elusive, and they both look downfield. It's funny because I know a lot of people think about him as a running quarterback, but if you really get a chance to ever break him down, you'll see that he will hang in the pocket a lot longer, a lot like Ben does, trying to give those guys a chance to free up sometimes.
Eric Reed said he liked his chances of being able to play on Thursday.
I'll tell you, he's a very mentally tough young man. You know, for him to continue to play the way he did, not want to come out in certain situations on Sunday, really speaks to how mentally tough he is, and it would not surprise me one bit. He's doing everything he can, I'll tell you that, in terms of getting treatment, coming in early and staying late and getting treatment. That's the thing that's also impressive about him is, you know, he's a pro when it comes to taking care of his body.
In the pre-draft process for Cam, can you recall ever having conversations like he's a lot like Ben, where he can really frustrate a defense?
Yes, I did. You know, it's funny because you do look at guys and try to compare them to guys that are out there right now, and you know, it's like some of the guys that were drafted this year. You know, you heard comparisons to guys like Brett Favre and Jim McMahon type guys, and you know, you see those same qualities in some of those guys.
As a defender, for lack of a better term, how much does it piss you off when you get to a quarterback and he just?
Oh, it's tough. I mean, and it's tough as a coordinator when you're calling plays and you see guys that can stand tall and they can maintain and stay up. You know, it's frustrating. I mean, I can remember coordinating against Ben when I was in San Diego and how frustrating it was. I think I can't remember if it was a Thursday night, a Friday night, or a Sunday night game we played, but it was a nighttime game. And, you know, just when you think you got him, you know, guys are bouncing off literally. I mean, I remember blitzing Eric Well and watching him bounce off the guy. It's just, I mean, he's a stout guy who stands tall.
What does it mean when you see Cam make a block?
It means I hope he doesn't get hurt. You know, but I will say this, so in the way he plays, you can tell he's all in. So the opportunity to be part of a play and throw a block, he's going to do it. I mean, you know, we don't design it so he's like the lead blocker, I can tell you that much, but he ends up just, you know, you can get in somebody's way without having to hit him. So.
How many
quarterbacks in the league could do what he does, the block that.
I think there's a few other ones that could. I really do. I mean, we saw the other night against whoever the Patriots were playing. I think it was Green Bay. Tom Brady handed one off and threw a block. So again, I mean, he guys are going to do what they can to help their teams to win, and Cam just notches his up a little bit more.
Ron, the Ravens coordinator last week created a bit of a stir by suggesting the Steelers might be better off without Le'Veon with the way Connor was running the ball. As you watch tape, you kind of see where he was coming from. What's your take?
Well, I'll just say this. Le'Veon's a great player, and Connor's proving himself to be a very, very good player. So I wouldn't choose. I honestly, I'd rather not face either one of them, but we got to face one of them. So we'll go from there. But I think both guys are terrific football players, and both guys are capable of doing exactly what they're doing as an offense. I mean, they're playing very well. They've won 4 in a row. They've got a good football team that's playing good offensively, defensively, and special teams.
Little different styles. Pretty
Oh yeah,
similar.
different style, absolutely different styles of football, absolutely. When you look at the runners, they run differently, and I think it's one of those things where right now I think they found their stride with Connor, but with Le'Veon, if he comes back, who knows? I mean, because again, they're an explosive, dynamic football team, and they've been explosive in the way they are right now, and they can be explosive with the other guy.
What is it about Connor do you think has allowed him to have as much success as he has these first 9?
I think it's the way he plays. He runs hard. Everything he does hard. Runs routes. He's not floating out there. The young man plays hard, and I think it's a testament to his character as to what he went through as a young man in college, and his full recovery, which has been a great thing for him.
Ron, what has allowed Antonio Brown to be at times dominant in this league as a guy that was kind of underrated coming out?
Well, I'll tell you this much: he's probably one of the closest guys to Steve Smith type football player that I've seen. He's a good route runner. He's explosive when the ball's in the air. He goes after the football. I don't think I've ever seen anybody go after the football like Steve Smith. This guy's pretty doggone close to it, and he makes plays with the ball in his hand too. And he's just a dynamic football player.
Cam talked a lot about working out with Antonio this offseason. What do you think that does for him, and what do you think when you see him doing things like that?
When our guys work out with other players from other teams, especially players that elite at their position, I think it's kind of cool because they get to see what other guys do, and I think that gives them something to gauge what they're doing. Am I doing enough? Can I do more? I think that's one of the cool things about it. When you see guys like them getting together, I think they push each other. I think they help each other gauge themselves as to where they are and where they want to be.
Does the old school in you sort of cringe at it, though? I mean, it seems like there wasn't as much fraternization.
Not publicly. Because I can remember going home, or going back to Cal and working out with guys from other teams. And most notably, I worked out with Hardy Nickerson a couple of times. We were, at the same era. Hardy was a freshman my senior year, but, being around guys like that, it's not unheard of. But I will say once I moved in and stayed in Chicago year round, I was always around my teammates. I've been around some guys that didn't want to have anything to do with somebody from another team that would, just show up at the gym that we'd be at, and they said, well, you go over and talk to them. So what are you talking to them for? I said, well, dude, I said, no, man, I ain't got nothing to do with them. I said, okay, cool. So, some guys have that mentality.
Ron, what do you think Steve Smith saying that he shared the playbook back in 2014?
Okay. He plays for the Ravens. I mean, yeah, that's okay. He played for the Ravens. I mean, what do you want him to do? I mean, this game's about winning, and if doing that creates the edge, then so be it. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, believe me, if I had a playbook and somebody were going to play, I'd be looking at it. Because again, it's if you get an opportunity to win a football game, and you have stuff that can help you, then that you got the right way, that's fine.
Does those playbooks get out more than we know, or are they still under pretty close lock?
I bet if you went to you Google, you'd probably be able to find one or two somewhere. I'm being serious. The things you can find, I bet, who knows what's out there. So you probably could find a couple on the internet.
Show Norv the shirt. Has he seen the shirts? And
I don't know if he's seen the shirt. I think he's seen the shirt, and knowing Norv, he's probably got a good laugh at it. He probably said you should have said something else instead of this. But you know, in light of yesterday, and I know all the conversation and then the impersonation that Cam did on Sunday, I think it was pretty good humor.
Does he say baby all that much?
Well, we hear it. I can't. I was thinking about trying to impersonate it, but I got no chance. No chance.
Ron, as strange as it kind of sounds, because he's been in the league so long and you once worked for him, has Norv kind of evolved as a coach and grown as a coach, given the tools that he has here that he may not have had in other stops?
You know what? That'd be hard to say, just because when you look at what he had in San Diego the year I was there, and he had the #1 offense. I mean, those are some pretty talented football players. You think about the wide receiving core he had with Vincent Jackson and Malcolm Floyd, the tight end he had in Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson, who's a Hall of Famer, Darren Sproles, who's as dangerous as they get, a solid offensive line, and Phillip Rivers at quarterback. I mean, that's a pretty good team, very talented team. And like I said, at one point we were the #1 offense because of that. So, you know, I would never use the word grown on him either. I think evolve would probably be a better word. You've seen him do that, but you know, I got a little sense of that just kind of following him when I saw him dealing with Teddy Bridgewater and how well things were going for them up in Minnesota until he got hurt. That was, you know, real disappointing there.
Do you ever see, whether it's the reverse or one of these type plays, and reminded of something he ran in San Diego?
Yeah, but you know, I'll say the one thing that I've always appreciated about Coach, and you know, I was fortunate enough in San Diego to be around him, to listen to him talk during a game was, I always thought, was impressive. Because as plays are happening, he's thinking ahead, and I think that's one of the things that creates the success he has, is because he's a progressive thinker. You know, he may call a play and he'll you know, and he'll ask his other coaches what they think as well. I said, you know, hey, you know, 2nd and short, what do you guys like here? You know, I'm thinking about this. You know, and he talks out loud, and I think that's part of why. Because he knows what he just called. He starts thinking about the potential for the next play, and I think that's why it happens so quickly sometimes.
Are there any plays that he maybe brings in to a meeting or to you and shows to you, and your eyes kind of light up and say, "Oh, this is going to be a good one"?
Yeah, I've been in when he's walked into some of the other position coaches and just starts drawing something up on the board, and he says, "Well, what do you guys think? Yeah, I like this," and then the other coaches will interject, "Hey, yeah, but you know, just remember this guy might come off this end here. You know, we've got to have an answer for that. You know, how do we need to protect?" You know, I can remember in San Diego when I was the coordinator, he came into me and he asked me about Larry Fitzgerald and how, you know, we were going to take him out. So I started explaining to him the combination coverage I wanted to run. And then he turned to the offensive line coach, a gentleman named Hal Hunter, and asked Hal, I said, "Hal, you know, what about this protection in this particular play?" He starts talking, and he was carrying on 2 football conversations, one on offense and one on defense at the same time. And I just thought to myself, wow, that's amazing. And he did. I kept talking, and Hal kept talking, and he just kept listening.